12 easy tricks to reduce your blood sugar and lower HbA1c. Hack number 1 builds on this simple idea. Add a vegetable starter at the beginning of your meal. A vegetable starter is simply a small dish of non-starchy vegetables, like green leafy vegetables, eaten before the rest of your food. This could be raw or cooked vegetables, with dressing, sauce, or even a bit of cheese, whatever you enjoy. After that, continue with your usual meal. The fiber from the vegetables helps reduce the glucose rise from everything that follows. This approach is often easier because you do not need to separate your meal components. A side salad at a restaurant, sliced cucumber, or cherry tomatoes all work well. Ideally, this starter makes up about 30% of your meal. Hack number 2 is about eating your food in the right sequence. Research shows that the order in which you eat different parts of a meal can significantly lower the rise in blood glucose by as much as 75%. Why does this matter? Because many people experience glucose spikes every day without realizing it. And these spikes can lead to fatigue, sugar cravings, poor sleep, inflammation, and hormonal challenges such as PCOS or difficult menopause. Over time, repeated spikes can also increase the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. If you want to feel better overall, stabilizing your glucose is a powerful place to begin. Think of it as the foundation of your health. When glucose levels swing up and down, it becomes much harder to feel energized and function at your best. So here's the first strategy. Eat vegetables first, then proteins and fats, and finally carbohydrates like starches and sugars. This simple shift can dramatically reduce the glucose rise from a meal. Next time you eat, try starting with vegetables, then move to items like meat, fish, or healthy fats, and leave foods like rice, pasta, bread, potatoes, or dessert for last. This works because fiber in vegetables forms a kind of barrier in the gut, slowing how quickly glucose from carbs enters the bloodstream. You do not need to change what you eat or how much, just the order. For example, if you eat broccoli before tofu and rice, your glucose response will be much lower than if you eat the rice first. Hack number 3, stop focusing so much on calories. Calories do matter in a basic sense, but they do not tell you how a food affects your body. 2 people can eat the same number of calories, say 2,000, but have very different outcomes. One may experience constant glucose spikes, cravings, fatigue, and health issues, while the other maintains stable glucose and feels energized and healthy. Calories were originally measured by burning food and calculating the heat produced. This method tells us energy content, but nothing about how the body responds to that food. For example, a donut and an avocado might have similar calories, but the donut, rich in refined starch and sugar, causes a rapid glucose spike, while the avocado, rich in fat and fiber, does not. So instead of counting calories, focus on how foods affect your glucose. When glucose is stable, cravings decrease, hunger is more controlled, and the body can burn fat more efficiently. Hack number 4. All sugars are essentially the same. Whether it is white sugar, honey, maple syrup, or agave, they all contain glucose and fructose and will raise blood sugar. Fructose does raise blood sugar, but much more slowly and to a lesser extent than regular glucose. Because it is metabolized directly in the liver rather than triggering insulin release right away, it has a very low glycemic index. But it can easily lead to fatty liver. Marketing often makes certain sugars seem healthier, but from a glucose perspective, they behave similarly. Choose what you enjoy, but understand that sugar is for pleasure, not health. Hack number 5 is to have a savory breakfast. This can be challenging at first, but is extremely effective. Typical breakfasts, like cereal, juice, toast with jam, or sweet granola, are high in sugar and starch, causing a large glucose spike early in the day. This leads to energy crashes, increased hunger, and disrupted metabolism throughout the day. High glucose spikes in the morning can also damage mitochondria, the parts of your cells responsible for producing energy. Instead, choose a savory breakfast centered around protein. Options include eggs, yogurt, nuts, tofu, leftover fish or healthy meat, or a protein smoothie. You can add some healthy fats and a small amount of starch if desired, but avoid sweet foods except for whole fruit if needed in moderation. Hack number 6, if you want something sweet, have it as dessert rather than as a snack. Eating sugar on an empty stomach, especially in the morning or between meals, causes sharp glucose spikes and subsequent crashes, leading to more cravings. Instead, eat sweet foods after a meal. The presence of other food in your stomach slows sugar absorption, reducing the spike. Hack number 7 is the vinegar trick. Taking about 1 tablespoon of vinegar in water before a meal can reduce the glucose rise by up to 30%. This works because acetic acid slows the digestion of carbohydrates. You can also use vinegar as a dressing on vegetables. Most types of vinegar work, but avoid sugary versions like balsamic glaze. Hack number 8, move after eating. Your muscles use glucose for energy, so engaging them helps lower blood sugar. Within about 10 minutes after a meal, do 15 minutes of activity. This could be simple squats, walking, or even simple movements like calf raises while sitting if you are too fragile. These small actions help your body clear glucose from the bloodstream. Hack number 9, if you need a snack, choose something savory. Avoid sugary and carbohydrate-rich snacks between meals to prevent glucose swings. Good options include eggs, yogurt with nut butter, or cheese on toast. Keep sweet foods for after meals instead. Hack number 10, stay hydrated. Drinking plenty of water helps your kidneys efficiently filter and flush out excess sugar through your urine. Hack number 11, manage stress. Stress causes your body to release hormones like cortisol, which dumps stored sugar into your blood. Practice breathing exercises, short walks, or meditation to lower stress. Hack number 12, prioritize sleep. Chronic sleep deprivation raises stress hormones and makes your body more resistant to insulin. Aim for at least 7 hours per night. Increase chromium and magnesium. Deficiencies in these minerals can cause blood sugar irregularities. Incorporating foods rich in these nutrients, e.g. almonds, avocados, or meats, it can assist with metabolic control and sleep issues. Finally, combine your carbs with protein, fat, and fiber, what you can think of as dressing your carbs. Avoiding carbs alone, as it causes a rapid spike, but pairing them with other nutrients slows digestion. For example, add yogurt or nuts to a dessert, or include protein and more vegetables with pasta, bread, or rice. You can mix and match these strategies. Start with one that feels easiest and build from there. Even small changes can lead to noticeable improvements in how you feel.